Hello everyone, Snipe Trading here. Today is the 3rd of March. I'll be going over my recap for today. So today, up a total of 261, but it was definitely a tougher day, since in the morning I was pretty much 0 for 5 on these tickers here, and I was down a total of $600. I made it back mostly on UWMC here for a $44 win. So let's get to it. So going over my first trade here, which is UWMC. So UWMC will say short off of this trend break. So you can see there's a trend break here, and then it's a pretty strong trend line, and then I saw this inverted cup and handle, lower highs forming. If you zoom in here, you can see there was another lower high forming here, or an inverted cup and handle. So I started short there, and then for the bigger cup and handle, I just re-added for all these cup and handle break, even the bigger ones over here. And then I just start to cover along the way here. End up retesting the 5-minute chart, this prior support as resistance, and it trended lower. So potentially another cup and handle here for this bear flag. And then this would have been another trade here if you would take that. So that was like a $279 win around this area. And then later, I think towards the end of the day, there was a bear flag forming. So you can see this bear flag forming there. You got lower highs, and then I was trying to short off this cup and handle here. So I started expecting this support to break. So when that broke support, I added some shorts in there and then start covering along the way. And there was just a couple more minutes before the end of day, so I took it off there, and now it's trending higher. So that was a total of $444 for these two short plays here on UWMC. Next trade is KMPH. So KMPH, I was expecting kind of a mid end of day kind of squeeze. So you can see it's kind of lower high starting to form. Had this flag. I bought that breakout. That flag there. Sold into it, and I looked at the price action for this break, and it was really weak. So I ended up just selling it pretty quickly there. It ended up not holding and fading back down, so it's a good thing for there. I was actually expecting this to kind of retesting the VWAP and then probably fade after, but it looks like it just fell there. Next trade is SLGG. So SLGG was a $77 win. $77 win, and this was an after hour trade. So during after hour, there was a big flag forming here. You can see it's kind of consolidating. There was an opportunity to buy here at these lows, but I missed it. So one spot to buy was here, risking these lows for this scalp. So I went ahead and buy this bigger cup and handle flag here. About there, sold into these for a $77 win, and end up trailing the 5-minute EMA pretty well. So the 5-minute 9 EMA. So this pink red line here is the 5-minute 9 EMA, and then there's potential like dip buyers buying on the dip of the 9 EMA on the 1-minute chart. and then buying on the 5-minute chart. But that was a $77 win. Just captured a pretty small move there. Could use a little bit more trailing there for a bigger picture win. Next trade is OCGN. So OCGN was a I think it was a short. So it was a $46 win, but it was a small short play off of this trend break. So I went in short, I think roughly around here, around this area of the break of this inverted cup and handle. And it was also the trend line break. And I shorted there. And then I just covered because it was kind of going really slow. But it ended up breaking the hourly chart and flushing all the way back down to 1050s or so. So that was a decent trade had I trailed a little bit more. Hey R Parker. But yeah, so let's see. So that was a $46 win. CPE was my next trade of $42. So this one was a short. I think it had an inverted cup and handle here. It was extended on the 9 EMA 1 minute chart. And then the 5 minute 9 EMA was down here. And then it ended up kind of bouncing off kind of mid area here, probably off this support. R Parker, I can go over that in a few. I also traded GME for a loss here at 104. I can kind of go over my thought process there. So this CPE had a inverted flag cup and handle here. I took the short there and then end up covering here, and then when it had this wick here, I end up taking it off for a small win. So that was a $42 win off there. So next trade is SOS. SOS had SOS had a decent GME. So GME, let me check it out. Are you talking about today? Today the low was 113, so it might be a bug in your trading platform, trading account. It didn't drop to 60. So the lowest I see is 113. And after hours at 123. So it went to the high of 131 after hours. So yeah, it's probably a bug. And sometimes during after hours, you get prints from market makers that kind of trade with like outside the best bid and best ask. So you might get a print on the level 2 that is not on the I don't see it here, so it's just a misprint, so no worries. It's just a print that market makers trade like with outside the limit. But while I'm in this topic of GME, so I had I was looking for a trade here off a kind of early flag. So you can see it was kind of basing off here, flagging, risking here. I bought here, and the flag didn't go, so I ended up taking a loss, stop my prior low here for a loss at $104 there. Yeah, you can send to my Twitter at Snipe Trading. And then, so that is my GME trade there. So VRTV, my biggest loss for today. I think I sized in a little bit too big here, but I saw a decent inverted cup and handle here, but it didn't break the support level. Went a little too early with too much size. I was expecting a retracement to the 9 EMA 5-minute chart. And then it popped right back up. So I kind of got squeezed there, but I stopped out. And that was for a $197 loss there on VRTV. Next loss was TRXC. TRXC, I had, I guess, a bigger loss, but I ended up covering some of the loss there. But what I saw here was a flag break. Flag break here for these highs. So I went in, scaling in here, and it didn't move. So I ended up taking a loss, or I ended up scaling in a little more, end up taking a loss. There, I think this was like a $150 loss, and then I end up scalping a short here for this inverted cup and handle, and then end up covering. So this was a small win, but overall it was a down of a total of 97 on that trade. Let's see. So that was TRXC. My next trade was NCTY, which was also a loss, which was a $59 loss. This one also had a nice pattern. It was hanging on above all the 9 EMAs. It had a decent flag. I bought that flag expecting a kind of squeeze higher, but it sold a little bit there, and then I stopped out when it didn't continue to break out. So I stopped out and it trended lower. So I always remember to kind of respect your stop, because you don't want to be stubborn and just taking a bigger loss than you need. So bought, it didn't go, so it sold. So that's NCTY, $59 loss. My next loss was QEP. So QEP. So this, it was kind of trailing the 5-minute 9 EMA pretty well here throughout the day. So it was during this time where I thought it was, this was also very low volume. So I don't think anybody was trading this. But I was expecting kind of a retest off of the 15-minute trend or the hourly trend, and it was kind of starting to base here. And then that's where I started to kind of see this cup and handle. I started short, and then I ended up covering. It didn't break the support there, and continued to trail along the 5-minute 9 EMA. My next trade is RIG. RIG was a quick scalp loss, but I didn't take my profits here. It had a nice flag for me, so you can see it was a little tight. I bought this flag. I re-added some more, and then I had opportunity to sell up here for a, I think, $67 win, but it ended up kind of stopping me out with this big candle. So I was expecting it to hold the 9-minute trend and trend a little higher, but it ended up falling there. But it was for a small loss of $8, just because I had a good spot here, but no volume. So you can see that initial breakout had a very large volume, but it didn't continue, no follow through. So that was a quick just a small $8 loss. Next trade is HZON. So for this one, it's a $15 win. For this, I saw a flag forming here, and it was holding VWAP, holding the support, VWAP support. I bought there, and then I sold along the way, and then again, not enough follow through. So the long plays weren't good recently due to like lower volume in the market and not a lot of long plays. So I've been making more money on the short plays, like on UWMC, for example. A lot of stocks faded today. Yeah, so I think that was about it. Went over all my trades, up a total of 261 for today. It did start it as a rough morning. I was down 600. I was 0 for 5, but I kept my composure and try to take the best trades. But if you enjoy my content, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. And I do live streaming every morning at 6:30 PST, and I do a end of day day trading recap, just like this one. So thanks for tuning in and watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.